Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Will. Today on the lathe I have a nice live edge piece of damson wood. So I'm going to have a turn a live edge bowl. So take a closer look at the piece. As you can see, it's a nice wedge shaped piece. Beautiful live edge. So there's a beautiful piece of bark on this. Hopefully it will stay on. Have a couple of shakes in it here. So this is going to need filling. A couple of little cracks here as well. But yeah, that's the joys of fruitwood, guys. So yeah, it's a piece of damson. So I've turned a little small piece of this before and I got a lovely live edge bowl. So this is a slightly bigger one. So yeah, you can see that crack there. So definitely I'm going to have to do some repair work. But you've got this beautiful piece of white bark here. I suppose it's the softer bark under the main bark. It's really cool. It goes all the way around. So hopefully when we get the bowl turned, we'll see the dark, then this nice white layer, then the wood. So yeah, I did do a little bit of marking out on the piece. So I'll just show you what I was at. So corner to corner here. So just to balance the piece up and get the most from it. So from this point to here, I just drew a line and I came 90 degrees off here. So that would give me my center here. So I just went up in increments. So I want to cut this section off here. And I get a chucking point here. So obviously down here. And I done the same on the other side. So as you can see, my center mark is over here a little bit. So I need to get that slice off. So without further ado, I'll take it over to the bandsaw and I'll take this off. And so now guys, back over at the lathe and I have that little piece cut off. So I just want to find the center here. So I have my center line here. Mark that there. Mark that there. So that's my center there. So now I'm just going to mount it between centers, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a flat spot there and I'll put a worm screw in here, which will allow me to chuck it here and work on the underside first. So I did mark the center here just with a braddock as best I could. So now guys, I just stuck the biggest forstner bit I had was about 2¼ inches. So I just drilled down an extra little bit of good wood, drilled an 8mm hole. So I'm going to mount it on a woodworm screw. I could have just chanced drilling down through the bark with the forstner bit, but because it's so rough, it would have been hard to keep it in the same place. So I just found it just a little bit easier to stick it between centers and do that. I'm in no rush. Nice and secure in the chuck. So we'll just see where I am in relation to the corners. So yeah, I'm a tiny little bit off, but listen, that is what it is. That one's a bit off as well, but yeah, three of them are lining up, so one of them isn't. So nothing I can do about that, but we're pretty good. We're pretty good. So now we can make a start on the turning. I'll bring the tailstock up for a little bit. So my point is just a couple, my live center here is just a couple of millimeters off, so it did move slightly, but I don't mind. So now, make a start on the turning. So I'm going to start off with a 5/8 inch ball gouge. So I'm turning at 800 RPM. So just getting up as far as to crack. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start cutting back this way a bit. So chipping out quite badly here, but that's to be expected the way I'm cutting. So little flat spot here and little flat spot here. So I need to go in another little bit. So nice clean cut here again. I'm cutting unsupported grain on this side, so it's tore out quite badly. But again, we'll deal with that when we're looking for a finished cut. But yeah, this crack here now is going to be a bit of a problem. I will definitely have to do something with that. So again, not a few cuts just to get away this first. So a little flat spot, still a bit more. So another cut. Yeah, so the bark is a little bit loose on this section here. I might have to put a little bit of CA glue in if I want to save it. But it is what it is. Yeah, I'm going to definitely have to go a bit smaller because quite thin here and quite thin here. So yeah, unfortunately I'll have to take another couple of cuts. So big flat spot, big flat spot. So we've a good bit more to go. And a little tiny piece broke out here. But yeah, that is after breaking out really, really badly. So yeah, not happy with that. So flat spot again, flat spot again. So a good bit more to go. Little more. Well, I think I can take the tailstock away now. At this stage, it's in my way. And I can mark for my tenon. And that should do for a tenon. So I need to take a few more cuts up to get rid of this, and hopefully this doesn't chip out too much more. So we've got through some of the tear out that was there where it broke off, so I need to go up a bit further, and then I'm going to have a little bit of filling to do. So a tiny little flat spot there, so we'll take another cut and see how it looks. So just bringing the speed up a little bit more there to 1250 RPM. So nice and clean there. So I need to just follow that up a little bit more. So we're getting close to the shape I want. So I still have a little flat spot here. I want to get that gone, so I might need to take another cut, and then I'll concentrate on a little bit of filling. And I don't think I'm too bad now. So fortunately, guys, the bark is not so good. I'll dribble a bit of C8 glue into it and hopefully it stays. So what I'll do, guys, I'll get this all glued up and I'll take you back down when we're ready to proceed to the next stage. So now, as you can see, I have done quite a lot of filling with C8 glue, or super glue, whatever you want to call it. I did dribble some in all the way around the bark and filled in this shake here, a couple of splits. So what I'm going to do now, guys, is I'm going to get the piece sanded and we'll take a look at the piece then. I'll show a couple of clips, I won't show it all. So now that's the piece all sanded up. I sanded up to my usual 400 grit and it came up really, really nice. As you can see, where I filled the cracks, yeah, they were quite nasty, and there was a couple of splits here also, and the same on this side. And this one didn't quite fill as nice as I would have hoped, but I don't care. It's fine. It's going to be a rustic piece. So yeah, bark all stayed on, and as I said, I got a bit of glue in there, so hopefully it will stay. So what I'm going to do now is apply some sanding sealer. So I use, I'll be using a cellulose sanding sealer. I just mix it 50-50 with thinners. And I just have my little pot here and I'm going to apply it with a little brush. I'll get a good coat on it. It'll help stabilize that bark a bit also. So get a nice good coat on. So there's a glimpse of all that beautiful colour. I had the pleasure of turning some prunus cherry. So this is a prunus damson. So basically from the cherry family. A damson, it's a little fruit, slightly smaller than a plum, but bigger than a cherry. So that's a nice good layer on there. I will get another coat on and I'll denib that then. And then we can get the inside hollowed out. But so far that is looking beautiful. That's that nice white layer I was talking about. I suppose it is part of the bark. It's a softer layer of the bark. But yeah, really, really happy the bark stayed on. So now I'll let that dry and I'll get another coat on and we'll take it from there. So now the sanding sealer is nice and dry, so I'm just putting on a little bit of Yorkshire grit, which is an abrasive paste. So that's brought that finish up really, really nice. So what I'll do is I'll hollow out the inside and we'll put a nice finish on the outside. Not sure whether I'll use wax or an oil. Yeah, we'll see. I'll make my mind up when I get the inside done. So I do have some remnants of the wax in the little pores in the bark. So I'll just blow that out with a compressor and I'm good to go. So now that's the piece all flipped around and ready to hollow out the inside. So I'm going to start off with my 5/8 inch fore gouge. So now I've got it up to 1000 RPM. So now after getting in quite a ways, I had the big dust extractor on there just till I got through that bark because it was quite dusty. So a few cracks have shown up, a few splits have shown up here in the end grain. And I can see there's a slight little gap here in the bark. So again, I'll probably have to do the same routine on the outside. I'll have to pop a little bit of CA glue in. But so far so good. So I'll continue on hollowing. I'm going to leave the rim quite chunky on this, guys, because I think it looks really, really cool. If I try and go too thin, I think I'm going to lose it. So it's already a little bit starting off, but hopefully now it'll stay. But yeah, that's the reason for leaving it quite chunky, but it's probably 3/4 of an inch. I'll try and taper it in a bit as I go down the sides, maybe undercut it ever so slight, but we'll see how we go. So I'm just going to switch over to a 60°, or what some of you might call a bottom feeder. So I have another good inch to take out in the bottom. So I'm getting very, very close. Another little bit in the bottom. Now just take a measure. So 15mm here, and halfway down it's 14, but I still have an inch of material in the bottom, so I need to take another couple of cuts in the bottom. So 16mm in the bottom, so I'm happy at that. Yeah, so what I'm going to do now, guys, I'm just going to give it a light scrape. So, negative rake scraper. It's a nice heavy tool, and I'm so far over the tool rest, so it's a little bit more stable. And that has done the job. So that's a nice surface there now. That's a sandable finish in my book. So again, guys, what I'm going to have to do is a little bit of filling on some cracks. Although I can see here where I filled in the shake on the outside, the C8 glue came in that far, so that's actually good. But there's a couple of spots it didn't. So unfortunately now I'll have to get a little bit in, and again on the bark. So I'll take you back when I have that done, and we're ready to get a finish on. So now that's the sanding all done. I filled all the shakes and cracks with C8 glue. I used both tin and medium, and I sanded up to 400 grit. So now, time to apply a little sanding sealer. But the sanding went well, really happy with the finish. I'll try the light there. Yeah, so that's showing a little bit better. Yeah, so some beautiful colour in it again. It's really, really nice. Really chuffed with this piece. I'm glad I left that bark nice and chunky, because it might stay on now. So I did put C8 glue all around the outside and the inside, so hopefully that has strengthened it enough. So now, sanding sealer again. I'm going to just apply it with a brush, although I'm wondering if I take it off the lathe, will I get it a bit easier? Might be a bit easier for me to get it onto the bark. So again, cellulose sanding sealer. That'll help toughen that bark as well. So far so good. So now I think that's loads. So I've gotten the bark all the way around. So what I'll do is I'll just let this dry off. And we'll take a look at it then. So now I've just stuck it back onto the chuck. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it another run of the Yorkshire grit. So again, this is an abrasive paste. So that came up really well. So as you can see, I have some wax gotten into the bark. So what I need to do now is just get the compressor and blow that out, clean it off with some denatured alcohol, and we get a nice bit of wax on it then to shine it up. So now that's the piece all cleaned off with denatured alcohol. Just get the remnants of the Yorkshire grit off. So now get a bit of polish on. So I'm thinking a bit of microcrystalline wax. So we just want a nice light coat. Try not to get too much into the bark area. So now that's a nice layer on inside and out. So I'll just let the solvents flash off a little bit and then we can get it buffed. So now I've left the piece for 10 or 15 minutes and I think it's ready to buff. So we'll bring the speed up a little bit higher than usual, right up around 12 or 1300. So do 1250, that will do. So with a piece of paper towel or shop towel, whatever you have, and that came up pretty nice. So that's just a nice finish. So now we'll do the inside. So that bark is quite rugged, so I'm just trying to be careful now where I put my hands. And that came up pretty good as well. So some tiny little bits of paper towel stuck in, but I'll pick that out after. Now we'll get it off the chuck and we take a look. So now there we have it, guys, just off of the chuck, all shined up with microcrystalline wax. I put sanding sealer, cellulose sanding sealer on first, inside and out, and then abraded it with Yorkshire grit, which is this guy here. So it's just an abrasive paste, and I think it brings you up to about 1000 grit. So yeah, got quite a nice finish on it. Again, as I said, beautiful piece of wood. Had a lot of cracks in it, so that one went all the way around there, so glad I was able to save it. So I did fill it with CA inside and out. Same with the bark, I put a nice layer of tin CA inside and out, so hopefully that will stay as well. So I'm delighted to be able to save such a beautiful piece of wood. I will pop the tenon off later on, and I'll stick a few photos up at the end of the video. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the video as I did turning it. It was a beautiful piece of wood to turn. And if you enjoyed the video, you might consider tapping that like and maybe subscribe if you're not. And don't forget to leave me a comment also and let me know what you think. And I shall catch you on a future video. So take care. Bye for now.